In London, a group of Luftwaffe bombers evades flak guns and drops bombs on the city. Below, a mother rushes her children to a bomb shelter, including her son Edmund, who foolishly stands by an open window. Edmund runs back into the house to retrieve a portrait of his father, an RAF pilot, and nearly gets himself and his brother killed before making it into the shelter. The next day, Mrs. Pevensey takes her children, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, to an evacuation train at Paddington Station. They are headed to the town of Coombe Halt, where they will stay with Professor Diggory Kirk. Upon arriving at Coombe Halt, the children are met by Mrs. Macready, the housekeeper, who tells them that the professor is unaccustomed to having children in his house. The estate is like a museum, filled with historical artifacts, and the children are warned not to touch anything or disturb the professor. The first few days on the estate are tense for the siblings. Edmund is a troublemaker, Lucy is homesick, Peter feels the weight of being the man of the family, and Susan is always trying to be smart. The weather is terrible, and the children are forced to stay indoors. Lucy suggests a game of hide and seek, and while playing, she discovers an unused room with a large wardrobe. She climbs inside and discovers that she can keep going deeper and deeper until she emerges into a snow-covered woodland. In the wood, Lucy encounters a faun named Tumnus, who is delighted to meet her. He reveals that Lucy is a human, which is important in his world, called Narnia. Tumnus invites Lucy to his home for tea and crumpets, where he reveals that Narnia has not seen Christmas or any season except winter in the last 100 years. Tumnus plays a hypnotic tune on a flute-like instrument, and Lucy sees shapes of a man riding a unicorn and other creatures. As Lucy enjoys her time with Tumnus, her siblings become increasingly worried about her. Lucy returns, her siblings do not believe her story about Narnia, and they all go to bed. The next morning, Lucy takes Edmund to Narnia to prove that she is telling the truth. There, they meet the White Witch, Tilda Swinton, who claims to be the Queen of Narnia. She is kind to Edmund but tells him that she hates all humans. The siblings eventually make their way to Narnia, where they learn about the prophecy of the Four Thrones and the return of Aslan, the true king of Narnia. Edmund has left the beaver's house and gone hiking towards two mountain peaks. The others try to follow but arrive only in time to see Edmund entering a very large palace, seemingly constructed of ice and stone. Peter tries to follow, but the male beaver stops him, saying that Edmund is the bait for a trap. When the palace doors close on Edmund, Susan, and Peter argue about whether they should have gone back long before that, but Lucy